Well, hello friends. Welcome back to Browser Hacking. Today we are going to cross the frame boundary with JavaScript. In the last video we made the JavaScript heap shared so that different interpreters share a single heap. And now that we have that, we should be able to reach across the frame boundary from one document to another. And the way that we would test this is with something like an iframe page. So this page here has an iframe, and here's a document inside another iframe. And basically, we want to try to, I guess, write a script that runs in the surrounding page that maybe just mutates something in the inner page. So let's just make a test page for that. I don't know. HTML, why not? So we'll make a simple test page. It really just has to have an iframe, and I guess we can call it something, I. Okay, it's not the most important thing to put all the fancy things in here. Just needs some stuff, and then we'll put some kind of script here that that will execute when we finish loading. So like document add event listener, or let's add it to the iframe actually. So let's get the iframe element. Then we'll listen for the load event, and when the load event comes in, I have to use add event listener because we don't have onload yet, like these automatic event attributes. Anyway, when we get the load event from the iframe, we want to do like iframe dot content document dot something. So what do we want to do there? I guess so this is inside the iframe. Let's just put like a div in here or something. Foo. This should be replaced, something like this. And then when it loads, we'll just run get element by ID foo inner HTML success. So I think that's what we should do. So I wonder if this would actually work if we just run it locally. I feel like maybe the cross origin policy is not going to tolerate that. I content document is null. Why is that? So, wait, what is I? Content document. It's null because why? Because it's restricted by cross origin policy, I think. What if we just run? It's weird though, because like the file, both of them are just file URLs, but I guess maybe these days file URLs are not allowed. So boom. Yeah, okay, so that works. So I guess Firefox just disallows cross-origin requests between file URLs. Or I don't know if cross-origin request is the right term. Cross-origin access to the content document property on a iframe element. Anyway, I think we're not going to get too deep into the same origin policy today. We're just going to worry about like making this thing actually work in the first place. So let's see what happens if we try to run this test page in Serenity. We just get this should be replaced. So that makes sense. And we don't have the most verbose error reporting. It doesn't say anything. This is probably actually because we don't fire a load event for iframes. I bet that's why. So let's take care of that first. Iframe element, load source. Okay, so we have a hosted frame loader. So I feel like we should, when a frame loader finishes loading, it should probably notify the containing element that the load has finished, because then the containing element can dispatch a load event in the containing environment document. So let's see. So this is frame loader load, and it's a not iframe, not file, blah blah blah. Whatever. So what happens here? Set resource. Where's the callback? I guess load resource, and then we will get some kind of did. No? Frame loader is a resource client. We get resource did load. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so resource did load. Then when everything is good, then what we'll do is we'll say if frame host element. So this is the iframe element if this frame is not like the main frame. So the frame tree is pretty simple. It's like a main frame, which is the outermost frame. That's if your page doesn't have any frames, then the main frame is the only frame. But a host element is if a frame is inside an iframe element, then that iframe element is the host element of the frame. So that's what we're accessing here. So basically, here we'll just say something like frame did load. Just letting it know that the hosted frame did load, let's say. I'm going to call it content frame, maybe. I don't know. Right now we're calling it hosted frame, so I guess we can roll with that. Although probably content, since it's called content document, content window, we should probably rename that to host to content frame as well. So maybe let's do that first. Let's do that first. Content frame. Probably just rename all of these fellas. And we'll just yoink that for a moment. See if everything still builds. Yeah. Web. Rename. Iframe element. Hosted frame. Content frame. This matches the existing of the standard API names, content window and content document. Yeah, it's better to align with what the HTML standard calls things, because if you try to come up with your own clever names for things in a browser engine, things get very confusing very quickly. It's better to just roll with the established nomenclature. So, then of course this is no longer called, or it's still called host element actually, the frame. That's probably okay. So now it's content frame did load. So we'll add this API, content frame did load, takes a badge, frame loader, nobody else can call here. And why is that not forward declared? Frame loader. Where is it? Class frame loader. All right. So content frame did load, and when we get that, what we want to do is a very exciting dispatch event call. So dispatch event, DOM event create load. Boom. So I think that should be enough just to fire an event. Oh shit. Content frame did load, but host element is a DOM element. I guess that makes sense because, like, right now it's only an iframe, but it could also be a frame element once we implement frame sets. So since we don't have a shared base that's kind of a logical shared base for frame behavior between iframe and frame elements, so we just use DOM element here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just do something like assert host element is frame. And oh wait, I have to say HTML. Okay, and then to or downcast. All right, there we go. So actually the downcast will assert for us. I'm just putting this here for clarity. Fix me, perhaps in the future we'll have a common base class for frame and iframe. Yeah. But right now we don't have a better shared base, so success. All right, well that was really easy. Okay, all right, that's extremely easy, so that's good. Why was that so easy? iframe element IDL. Oh, we already exposed content document. That is really cool. Did I add that or did somebody else add that? Luke added that. Well, thank you, Luke. That's nice. We already had that property exposed. Content document. Yeah. So I guess it was a straightforward getter, so he just added it. That's really cool. So, so what we're doing here is now we're just generating the load event for iframes, and I guess then we can actually we can look into a little bit of same origin policy here. So let's see, load with web, dispatch load event, load event on iframe. Yeah, I mean that's really straightforward, but that basically makes that work. So should we restrict access to this property for file URLs? So the thing here is that allowing same origin policy for file URLs or treating them as same origin is really convenient, but I guess on the web these days, or with the state of browser these days, they no longer allow that, so we should probably behave like any other browser. Although it's this kind of thing that's nice to have an option for. But anyway, let's make a let's leave the file protocol alone for now, but let's access some HTTP resource instead and see what we can make with that. So let's see, I have a web server on my local machine, I think. Touch foo. I think I have Apache. I don't have userdir enabled. Let's see if that's easy to enable. Man, I haven't done this in forever. Okay, so I bet you that there is Apache Cuddle. A2 enable module userdir. All right, there we go. That was not so difficult. So, next step is to try to load the iframe document over HTTP instead. And we want to access the host machine. What's our IP address on the local network here? So 597. Can I get there with my browser? I feel like I should be able to. Oh, look at that. I think we need to do a little bit of layout work at some point. Fix this up. I wonder what's wrong with it. What is wrong with you? Why is this image here? Because it's float. Okay, so we need to implement float at some point. Anyway, ignoring that, we can definitely get here and get this guy. Okay, good. So let's use this test URL for our testing purposes. Foo. All right. So if we try to load this, well, now this doesn't work anymore, but the text still shows up because we can load the resource. But content window, it's restricted. Content document is null, right? Because not same origin. I thought maybe maybe they would have some information about that here, like the fact that it's failing for that reason. Can I do like content window dot document? Permission denied to access property document on a cross-origin object. Okay, so it would be cool if we could achieve this. How do we do that though? Because right now I feel like it's just gonna allow the access. Not quite. Okay, what's going on here? Frame loader load. And then what? Well, that doesn't go so well. Oh, wait, did I not put any text into it? Wait. And why does it say this should be replaced here? Yeah, okay, I had to do a cache clearing reload. Okay, silly cache. Freaking browser caches always messing things up for you. So what is it that we want to do here? We want to edit the thing. Oh, right, it needs to have all kinds of stuff in it. So we'll just put this in my home directory, foo. All right. I was like, why does that not work? It's because the resource we were loading was empty. Okay, that's better. And here we allow the access because we don't care about cross-origin requests. So let's see what we can do to care a little bit about that. Let's say that the content document property, the iframe, I guess really this should be null or not, or no, it should be null. If it's a cross-origin request. So how do we do that? So right now it will just simply call content document. So we'll call this. But how do we know from here that this is a cross-origin request? I guess we look at the origin of the content document and the origin of this iframe, but it's really the origin of the JavaScript execution context that's interesting. You know, because maybe you got to this element through some other permissive route. So how do we know the origin of the JavaScript execution context? To do that, we need to look at we have to look at the global object, because the global object is the window object that we're executing in right now. So what we will do is we will ask the document. We need to. This is tricky. Can we get to the VM? Main thread VM. We need to get to him. Okay, so that one exists in document CPP, but let's just hack it so we can get to him. And then if VM interpreter if exists. So we can get to the interpreter. This isn't the way that we should do this because, like, I mean, we can do it this way now, but we should find a more efficient way to track this information. Maybe this function should be passed some kind of context, or maybe we should do this at the bindings level instead, so that in iframe element IDL here you would say something like allow, like require same origin or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what we would do. We would do something here at this level. But right now, we're just going to go in the C++ code and we're going to check with the global object. So the global object is interpreter global object. And the DOM window is the bindings window object. Cast. And then we need to include that window object. Impl. Okay, so that's our DOM window. And then window dot. Okay, we need to include DOM window. Okay, window dot document origin. So we can find out the origin of the window object that we are calling through. Finally. So if window document origin, and then we'll ask like is same as actually I guess here we can say like if no content frame, return null pointer no matter what, and we don't have to care about that. And then here if it's the same as or if content frame document is null. Yeah. Okay, and then content frame document. So if they're not the same, then we will return a null pointer. Okay, then we just need origin to be able to tell you if it's the same. Is same. Const origin other. So I guess here what we'll do is we'll just say like my protocol, other protocol, and host is other host, and port is other port. And then it seems like they were doing this thing, so like if protocol is file, then like that's sort of how I was reading that behavior. So like, well, anyway, we'll just ignore that for now. I need to include libweb origin. And then I need to actually get an origin here as well. Main thread VM. Oh, wait. Where's that? In the DOM namespace, I guess. Yeah, okay. Can we just do this, maybe? DOM? That doesn't work. Web DOM. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of ugly. We're just grabbing at it. Is that static? Yes, it is. Okay, well, static no more. Okay, so that did not work. Good. So what happens if we query the that's the iframe. This output here that you get for an element is pretty extreme because you got all the getters and setters and stuff, all the attributes. So content document null. That's pretty cool. So hypothetically, if we were to edit this and simply load iframe HTML like we had before, it would work because it's the same origin thing. So let's see, let's do oopsie doopsie. Well, that's a bug, but unrelated. So content document, and then it works. Okay, so now this is obviously a very roundabout way to check the same origin thing. I really think this should happen in the bindings layer, because I mean it's not really right to be grabbing at the JavaScript VM once we are in the DOM code. I feel like access to the JavaScript VM is more of a bindings layer thing, like we want to keep that separate. Just to make things easier to reason about. Because if you start grabbing at the JavaScript engine here and there in a web engine, then they become so entangled. Anyway, so I'd like to move this to the bindings layer. And this code is generated now. So let's see. We have HTML image, iframe element wrapper CPP somewhere. Here. So content document getter. So what would we want to do here? So this is the getter that's generated by the wrapper generator program. So I guess what we could do here is we could hoist this check up here. So it would look how exactly? I guess. I'm just thinking, like, do we want to do the check before we call content document? I guess we have to look at the origin of the content document to know. But even before you load a document, you could know the content origin of an iframe, so I'm not exactly sure what is the right thing to do here. So hypothetically, say that the origin becomes a property of the iframe element. Small iframe. We'll say like const origin, or like what do we normally return? Origin. Okay, so it's just an object. Origin, content origin, let's say. Right? And then what? And if we have no frame or no doc, yeah, we'll just put this here for now. So then return an empty origin like that. Otherwise, return content frame document origin. Okay, and then maybe we'll make a helper actually. So may access from origin. May access from origin. Something like this. And then let's say return origin is same as my content origin. Okay. Window document origin. Yeah, so this is becoming a little bit more expressive here. Let's just go one step at a time. Okay. Now how do we get this hunk into the bindings? I guess we would say here something like if not may access, or no, wait, hold on. If not import may access from origin global object dot document dot origin. Or wait, hold on. Global object impl. But then we can add a convenience getter for this on the window object. So origin. Let's put that out of line. Let's see, so origin window object origin. Okay. So here it becomes just a matter of doing that. So if you may not access, then fail. JS global object. Okay, yeah, but we know that the global object here is a window object, so we can just cast it. Window object wrapper. Or wait, it's just window object. And we need to include that, but we are pretty close. Findings, window object. And we also need origin, sure. This is generated code, so I'm gonna have to fix the code generator, but this feels acceptable. So let's see. So that doesn't work, but if we make it load the local file, it works. Okay, so cool. What? Oh wait, that's because this was still here. Let's see. Okay, so good. This testing method is a little goofy, but whatever. It's okay. So we're still good. So how do we make it generate this? Well, we'll put something in the IDL. So disallow cross origin, let's say. Or require, no, let's say disallow cross origin. I wonder if there should be some more nuance to this. I mean, yeah, there's definitely more nuance to it. I just I wonder how they normally spec this. Let's see how it looks like in the HTML spec. Content document. It'll attribute. That doesn't mention anything here. Okay, but on getting must return the iframe elements content document. Documents origin and the containers nodes documents origin are not the same, then return null. So it's almost, I mean, yeah, this I think this is okay. It's just the part where we like return null, because I guess in some cases you want to maybe like return a restricted object or like some kind of slimmed down API object, or I don't know. But we'll get to all of those things in due time. for now, we'll just do what I just did and have require same origin. And this will imply that we return null otherwise. Maybe that implication should be super encoded. Return null if cross origin. Yeah. Now it's extremely clear what it means. Okay, so how do we make the wrapper generator spit this out? That's when we implement an attribute. So this is an attribute that has an extended attribute. Let's see, getter. Wait, what's going on here? We wanted this before we actually call the thing. Okay, so it goes right here. If attributes, extended attributes, contains return null if cross origin. If that's the case, then what we will spit out is exactly the thing I wrote here. So we'll assume that this thing is present. Oops. And if so, we will simply return empty. No, we should return null, actually. Yes. Okay, that seems fine. So let's see if we can actually generate this code. I mean, we've touched the IDL, so let's see what it comes up with. Static cast window object. Oh, right, we need the includes. So the way the wrapper generator does includes is that it just spams includes. It's not beautiful, but it is what it is. We should probably make this build up some kind of a hash map or something of all the includes that are required, and then we can only do the necessary ones for each thing, but this is where we are right now, so we'll just live with it. Origin hitch. Okay, seems to build. It doesn't work. And then when we edit this to be a same origin resource, success. And what if we go to here and copy these things to my home directory. So they would be available here. Oh no, that's not how that works. Because I also have an overly aggressive cache. It's so aggressive, the cache here, that we have to actually restart the browser. So I'm not blame-free. Boom. Success. Yes, that would work because this is the same origin. Pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Okay, so what did we do here? We added a mechanism so that the iframe bindings now restrict access to the content document attribute based on the source origin of the scripted request. So if you are executing JavaScript in the context of one document, that document's origin is then matched against the origin of the content frame that you're trying to access into. That's great. So we have some stuff to nuke here. Didn't need that. Let's see what we can commit here. So I guess we'll do the window object origin convenience getter. We can do that separately. Definitely don't need that. and window object origin, a convenience getter to retrieve the security origin of the document. A security origin of a DOM Windows document. Yeah. Okay. And then let's nuke that unnecessary change here. And well, actually now I guess we can, or you know what, let's do a separate patch for this one. Add origin is same. Okay, so here it comes. We're getting ready for some extremely basic same origin policy stuff. This initial implementation simply checks that two origins have identical host protocol, host and port. Cool. And then finally, disallow access, cross-origin access to HTML iframe element content document. Prevent. Yeah. Or actually, we can do that. Aha. So let's see. With this patch, we now enforce basic same origin policy for this one attribute, this one iframe attribute. We do so to make it easier to add more properties or attributes like this. I've added an extended IDL attribute, and I already forgot what I called it. That does exactly what it sounds like it does. Exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I guess I'm pretty happy with this for today. So I think maybe we'll just call it a day here. Got some good stuff done. We got cross-frame scripting. We're preventing basic cross-origin scripting. It's definitely going to need a lot more work, both on the cross-frame part and on the cross-origin part. But it's good to start moving a bit more in this direction of features like this, because obviously the web today is a lot more than single HTML file running on a single host. Like you have to fetch content from all kinds of places and get it to play nice together. So see if Google still loads. It still does. Layout here is still off. Need to work on that at some point. But yeah, seems like we're in a pretty good place. Scripts still work locally. All right. So I guess this will be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out. I hope that you saw something interesting here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.